Curricular compaction was developed in 1978 by Dr. Joseph Renzulli and Linda Smith. The National Association for Gifted Children defines curricular compaction as a technique for differentiating instruction that allows teachers to make adjustments to curriculum for students who have already mastered the material to be learned, replacing content students know with new content, enrichment options, and other activities. The first step in curricular compaction is to pre-assess before even beginning to compact what is being taught. Subject areas that are generally easiest to assess with a pretest include mathematics, grammar, vocabulary, spelling, science, foreign languages, and map skills. These are subjects that generally have a question with one specific answer, making the results very accurate. By having precise, correct answers, we can easily find out if the student knows the content or not. If the student earns a 90% or higher on a pretest or makes no more than one mistake on a writing sample, that student is considered to be at mastery level. Even after identifying a student who is gifted in any area, the teacher should still look through their portfolio to collect a wide range of their work to present. The more information about the student that can be put together, the easier it is to identify the child's giftedness, as well as meet the student's needs. It is very important to learn exactly what the student knows before raising the bar. After finding the student's subject of expertise, the next step is to choose alternative activities. Remember to start small. It is very important for the teacher to communicate with the student working on alternative activities because the student should be able to express their likes and dislikes in terms of how the content is given to them and what they are expected to do. Students also need to feel comfortable saying when something seems too challenging or even if they have a simple question. Remember, these students are still learning and the teachers are still here to educate them. The teacher also needs to remember that the student should still enjoy learning. The benefits students gain from curricular compaction includes a number of things such as the following. It's a necessary technique for challenging high-ability learners. The process of pre-assessing allows students who already know more than 90% of their grade-level content to avoid relearning the material that they already know. This technique also challenges students while still allowing them to do the same work as their peers, it's just much more in depth. It also allows students to excel without necessarily accelerating a grade level up, which can sometimes lead to social and emotional issues later in life. Unfortunately, any time while trying something new, there can be setbacks, and when it comes to curricular compaction, we thought of a few disadvantages, such as the unbalanced attention from teacher to student due to time spent with the large group, small group, and one-on-one instruction. Parents can sometimes be less than supportive or very unhelpful, which may lead to frustration on all parties. If a student is excelling in many subjects, this creates a lot of work for the teacher and a lot of student responsibility, especially to communicate with the teacher. Now it's time to really get you thinking about curricular compaction. Fact or myth? Gifted students should do more work in the classroom than their peers. If you said myth, you're right. Gifted students need challenging work that is equally as hard for them as the work their peers is doing for them. Compaction is a great way to keep students doing the same activities as their peers, just at a higher level. Now here's another one. Fact or myth? Gifted education requires an abundance of resources and funds. Myth. Great job to those of you who knew that. Gifted education can be taught in a number of ways that are simple and cost-free. Compaction, for example, does not require more staff to assist or advise the gifted students in another location. It also would not require any more tools than the classroom doesn't already have. Last one. Fact or myth? A child who can learn at a higher level at a fast pace should be accelerated a grade level. It's a myth. Some children are not mature enough, nor are they socially or emotionally ready to be with students a year older. Compaction allows the students to learn the same thing as their peers, just at a much deeper level. We decided to give you some examples of how to use curricular compaction in the classroom to better your understanding. For example, in spelling. If the student has mastered the class's weekly spelling list, the student may be given words with similar definitions but have more complex spellings. For example, if the class list has words like small and big, the gifted student might learn words with similar meanings like minuscule or enormous. The student is still learning words that are synonyms to the rest of the class, therefore they can still participate in classroom activities. Rather than calling a mouse small, they would say minuscule. In mathematics, if the class is learning division with one-digit numbers, a gifted student may be practicing division with three-digit numbers. Once the student has mastered one-digit division or even two-digit division, it's important to give them a challenge while the rest of the class is still learning. Compaction can be used in the classroom by simply having another sheet ready with more complex problems prepared for this gifted student. If the class is working on the big basic picture like continents and oceans, it is important to keep moving forward with the gifted students. For example, when a majority of the class is just starting to learn the continents and oceans, the gifted students may be ready to learn the countries and seas. Even beyond that, they could learn the specific states and provinces as well as capitals. Ultimately, curricular compaction allows students to excel without accelerating a whole grade level up, which sometimes leads to social and emotional issues later in life. It challenges students while allowing them to do the same work as their peers, it's just more in depth. Rather than having a student relearn information that is uninteresting to them, it's old news. The teacher should work to create the best possible learning environment for their students. It may be a little more work for the teacher, but the benefits the gifted students will obtain are something they will carry throughout their whole life.